Hollow Knight. Man, it's so much more than just a game, right? It's like this deep dive into a beautiful but totally broken world that has just grabbed millions of players and refused to let go. So in this explainer, we're going to peel back all those layers and figure out what's the secret sauce, what makes it so special. So this prayer, it's super cryptic, and it comes from this ancient, long-forgotten civilization buried deep within the game. It's kind of haunting, isn't it? And it just perfectly sets the stage for this beautiful but tragic mystery that we're about to unravel together. Welcome to Hallownest. You can almost hear it whispering stories of, this glorious past through all of its breathtaking ruins. But there's a catch. All that beauty is shot through with this deep, deep sadness because a mysterious infection has twisted everyone who lived there into these mindless, aggressive husks. And that right there, that's the big question we're tackling. I mean, Hollow Knight didn't just sell millions of copies, which is amazing on its own. It literally carved out a permanent place for itself in gaming history. So let's do it. Let's start peeling back those layers and find out what makes this world so darn unforgettable. Okay, so our first layer, it's the one that hits you right away. The game's just stunning and, well, kind of heartbreaking atmosphere. What you're looking at right now, it isn't computer generated. Not at all. Every single frame, from the tiniest little enemy to the most massive, sprawling backdrops, it's all hand-drawn. And that incredible attention to detail, that's what breathes so much life and history into the world of Hallownest. It just feels real. And then there's the sound, which, honestly, you can't even separate from the visuals. Think about it. You've got the somber, lonely piano of the last safe town, and then the frantic, almost panicked orchestral strings of a desperate boss fight. The score isn't just background music, it's the emotional soul of Hallownest. It's telling you a story all by itself. And this is where you come in. You're just this small, silent wanderer. All you've got is a simple little weapon. And the game, it doesn't hold your hand. There's no big arrow telling you where to go. It just kind of invites you to explore. And that freedom, that sense of pure discovery, that becomes the hook that just pulls you deeper and deeper into Hallownest's secrets. All right, so we've talked about how the game looks and sounds, but let's talk about how it feels to play. Because this, right here, is where you find its mechanical genius. The controls are just so tight and responsive. I mean, every jump, every dash, every single swing of your nail, it feels deliberate. It feels like you did it. It's one of those things that's super easy to learn, but oh my God, it's incredibly difficult to master. And that, right there, is the hallmark of truly great combat design. And this is where the design brilliance really, really shines. See, the game doesn't just throw everything at you at once and overwhelm you. No, instead, it carefully, deliberately paces out your abilities. You'll master the dash, right? And then, maybe hours later, you finally get the ability to jump off walls. Each new skill you get totally changes how you see the world, turning places that were dead ends into brand new pathways to explore. This kind of intentional design is so smart because it prevents a super common frustration in these kinds of exploration games. You're never left wondering, am I stuck or did I just miss some crucial item somewhere? In Hollow Knight, the challenge is always, always about mastering the tools you have right now, not about guessing what tools you're supposed to have. It's a huge difference. And on top of that perfect movement, the game just layers on all this incredible depth. You've got these powerful special attacks called nail arts. You get spells that are literally fueled by the soul you collect from your enemies. And then there's this massive charm system. We're talking 45 unique buffs that lets you completely customize your playstyle. All of this comes together in over 30 unique boss fights that aren't really about your stats. They're more like a deadly dance of precision and timing. It's awesome. Okay, so we've covered how it looks, how it sounds, and how it plays. Now, let's peel back the next big layer, and this one is huge, how the world itself is the main storyteller here. Now, to really get this, we can borrow a cool concept from, of all places, movement ecology. It's called habitat configuration. And the basic idea is just that the physical layout of a place, its paths, its barriers, its open spaces, that layout is what dictates how things move through it. And Team Cherry, the developers, they basically use this exact principle to tell a story entirely through their level design. It's genius. So you might be asking, okay, but how does that actually work? How do you build a whole story out of just paths and walls? Well, it's all about these subtle environmental clues that, and this is key, totally respect your intelligence as a player. Okay, check this out. Here's a quote you can find on a stone tablet. It's totally optional, you could walk right past it. But it's not just random flavor text. This thing is basically a map, both geographically and historically. It's telling you which way to go to find the capital, and it's hinting at how the whole kingdom was laid out. A single sentence, you guys, transforms a simple path into this ancient, historical route. It just makes the whole world feel so much more real. All right, now we get to the real heart of the mystery. This is where we go deep. After descending through all those beautiful ruins and mastering the combat, you finally reach the very bottom of the world, and that's where the deepest, darkest secrets are kept. This place, the Abyss, it's not just some dark area at the bottom of the map. No, it's a literal physical sea of what the ancient lore calls liquid nothing. And its substance, the void, it is the key to understanding everything. The kingdom's rise, its tragic fall, and yeah, even who you really are. And this brings us to a conflict that is just ancient. The entire history of Hallownest, everything that happened, is built on this epic war between two primordial forces. On one side, you have the Radiance, a being of light who is the source of that mind-stealing infection. And on the other, you have the Void, its polar opposite, a substance of pure darkness. The kingdom's last desperate hope? To use one to somehow contain the other. Okay, and this is where it all clicks into place. The void isn't just some passive goo. It can be given form. The king of Hallownest actually used it to create these empty children. They're called vessels, and they were designed to be perfectly hollow containers. And here's the kicker. You, the character you've been playing as this whole time, you are one of those vessels, a being born of a god and the literal darkness from the bottom of the world. Mind-blowing, right? So, okay, let's zoom back out for a second. When you take all of this layered design, the art, the music, the gameplay, and that incredibly deep lore, and you combine it all, what you get is an experience that left a massive mark on the entire games industry. And that mark is just, it's undeniable. We're talking over 3 million copies sold. Now, for a tiny indie team, just 3 people, this wasn't just a success. It was a full-blown phenomenon. It proved that players were absolutely starving for this kind of deep, challenging, and meaningful experience. And you know what's even crazier? Team Cherry didn't just stop there. They released 4 huge expansion packs, which you can see right here. We're talking new bosses, major new quest lines, gameplay upgrades, the whole shebang. And they gave it all away for free. That kind of commitment to their players and their world, you just don't see that anymore. It's truly special. So, the game's legacy? It's crystal clear. It completely raised the bar for what a Metroidvania could be, championing that difficult but fair design, and showing everyone that a story told through a world can be way more powerful than a story told through a bunch of cutscenes. And I think that brings us back to the core of what makes this all work so perfectly. Hollow Knight is a straight-up masterclass because every single piece of it serves the whole. The art, the gameplay, the lore. They aren't just separate things. They're woven together into this single, unforgettable experience. It creates a world that feels ancient, tragic, and just undeniably alive. And it really does leave you wondering with a question like this one on screen. What is that magic ingredient? What is it that makes a digital world like Hallownest feel sometimes even more real than our own?